Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down how to build the one skill that really underpins all great achievements, unshakable belief. We're going to get into the science and the strategy for turning those fleeting ideas into rock-solid convictions. So let's just jump right in. Have you ever had one of those amazing light bulb ideas? You're so excited you can't sleep, but then a few weeks later, that fire just kind of fizzles out. You see other people pushing forward, and you wonder, what's their secret? What do they have that I don't? Well, here's the thing. It's not really a secret. The real issue, the sort of silent killer of all these brilliant ideas, isn't that you lack talent or you don't have the resources. It's the gap between having a cool idea and having a deep, core conviction that you can actually make it happen.
Yeah, this lack of deep belief, it acts like a self-imposed ceiling on your potential. It's this invisible force that's always pushing against you, slowing you down. So let's take a look at what that actually looks like in the real world.
See, it's not just some vague feeling of doubt, right? It shows up in your actions. It's that hesitation before you make that important call. It's that reluctance to charge what you're actually worth. Or maybe that nagging voice telling you you're an imposter. These are all just symptoms of a belief system that isn't quite lined up with your goals yet. But here's where things get really, really interesting. Science shows us that this isn't a permanent state. This is not who you are. It's just a pattern. And your brain, well, your brain is literally designed to be changed.
The key to all of this is an incredible concept called neuroplasticity. And honestly, this might be the most empowering discovery in modern neuroscience. Why? Because it means your brain can be molded and reshaped at any age. You are not fixed. As one of the pioneers in this field, Dr. Michael Merzenich puts it, our brains are constantly being shaped. And this isn't just some nice theory, it's a biological fact. Every single thought you have is literally contributing to the physical structure of your brain.
And here's a brilliant way to picture how it works. Imagine a fresh field of snow, totally untouched. The first time you think a new thought, like, I am a confident speaker, it's like taking one step. It leaves a faint trail. But the more you walk that exact same path, the deeper and clearer it becomes, until it's the default route. You are literally, physically rewiring your brain. So, okay, if our brain is changeable, what's the tool we use to change it? Well, the master key is incredibly simple, but it is profoundly powerful. It's repetition. It's basically the brute force of consistency applied to the subtle world of our thoughts. Now, to understand why repetition works so well, we have to look at how your mind is structured. Your conscious mind, your willpower, your logic, the part of you listening right now, that's only about 5% of the equation. The real power, a whopping 95% of it, is in your subconscious. That's what runs all your habits and your deepest beliefs. Think of it like this. Your conscious mind is the captain of the ship, up on the deck giving orders. But the subconscious, that's the massive crew below deck that's actually running the ship. The goal then is to use the captain to give new orders to the crew, over and over and over again, until the crew just accepts those new orders as the new standard procedure. Okay, so that's the theory. Let's get practical. Let's move to an actual ritual, something you can use every single day to start forging this new conviction. This is where we move from just understanding the idea to actually applying it. This is a super simple 3-step framework. Think of it as your daily mental gym. First, define one and just one core belief you want to install. Second, rehearse it, visualize it, and really feel it. And third, you have to anchor it with a small, real-world action. Consistency is everything here. Now, that second step is absolutely crucial. I'm talking about emotion. Just repeating words like a robot isn't enough. You have to feel the reality of your new belief. That emotion, that feeling, that's the glue that makes it stick in your subconscious. And research backs this up. This isn't about deluding yourself, it's about actively directing your brain to perform better. If you want to see this principle in action, let's look at a real-world example. I mean, maybe nobody in modern history has demonstrated the power of this mental rehearsal better than the man who won this many NBA championships. We're talking about Michael Jordan, of course. And his unshakable confidence, it wasn't an accident. He was a pioneer of visualization. He would mentally rehearse making the perfect shot thousands and thousands of times. So when the actual game was on the line, he wasn't hoping to make the shot. His mind and body were just executing a program that had already been run to perfection countless times before. All right, so as soon as you start this practice, you are going to meet some resistance. It's almost guaranteed. And it's going to come from your biggest opponent, your own inner critic, that little voice of your old programming. You really have to understand what this voice is. It's just an old, outdated defense mechanism. It's trying to keep you safe by keeping you in your comfort zone. And the biggest mistake you can possibly make is to argue with it, because that gives it your focus and your energy, and it just keeps you stuck right where you are. So the crucial takeaway here is this. Think of yourself as the driver of a bus. The inner critic is just a noisy passenger in the back. Now, the wrong way to handle it is to stop the bus, turn around, and get into an argument. The right way? You simply acknowledge the noise. Hey, thanks for sharing. And then you turn your attention right back to the road and keep driving towards your goal. This table, it just brilliantly illustrates the transformation we're really aiming for here. We're trying to move an idea from being a fragile, spontaneous thought like, maybe I could start a podcast, into a deep-rooted, action-driving belief that automatically shapes your habits. I am a successful podcaster. So why does all this matter? What's the big payoff? Well, because achieving this unshakable belief fundamentally upgrades your entire operating system. When you face a setback, your automatic reaction shifts. It goes from, oh no, I'm stuck, to, okay, how can I solve this? And that one single shift changes everything. And this internal conviction, it radiates outward. It literally changes your posture, the tone of your voice, the way you carry yourself. You know, people are naturally drawn to certainty, and your belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your results get better, which reinforces the belief, which creates this powerful upward spiral of success. So the ultimate takeaway here is this. You are the architect of your own mind. You're not just a tenant living in some pre-built house. Unshakable conviction isn't a gift you're born with. It is a structure that you build, one repetition at a time. So the only question left is, what will you choose to build?